to sweater weather. Konnichiwa. Hi, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing this look right here. This is my full face using my favorite products for the fall, because I know a lot of people out there suffer from dry skin from the fall, especially me, because I'm gonna mention it probably 10,000 times. I'm on Accutane. My skin is super duper dry. It's not even just dry a little bit, it is like hella dry. My routine and the products that I like will probably change in the winter because things get a little different around here in the winter. I live in the state of Washington, so everything is dry and super duper cold. So when it's like, you know, 30 degrees out there, you don't want to do a full face of makeup. At least I don't. As you can see, it is sweater weather and I love sweater weather. So I'm going to be sharing with you all my favorite products and doing a full face while using those products. So if you're interested on how I got this look and the products that I use, just stay tuned. Right, so because of the way I'm wearing my hair, I got my clips in today instead of my headband. Let me just clarify before I get more into the video is that I have very dry skin right now because I am on Accutane. So a lot of the things that I'm using are basically things that I think are great for dry or very dry skin. I have already used this, the Neutrogena Naturals Brightening Daily Moisturizer, on my face as an extra moisturizer, and I will be priming my face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. Now I love this stuff. I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels, and I love how small it is. I actually got this in a little set. I bought this little mini set because I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to try the bigger version of the Smashbox contour palette. Because of how pale I am, it's really hard to find little bit more cool tone contours, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about the Smashbox one, but I just wanted to try it out. So my go-to primer slash setting spray is this. So I'm just going to prime my face. Like I said, I love how this smells. It smells refreshing, and the mister is really, really good and fine. So this is definitely one of my go-tos. The first thing that I do is put on my foundation. Now this is the Clinique Super Balanced Silk Makeup. They have two types of these. They have one with SPF and one without, and of course this is the one with SPF. Now I have used this while I had normal to combination skin, so this foundation is actually really, really good for oily, combination, dry, normal skin, and this is why I absolutely love it, and this is why it's one of my favorites. This is in the color 02 Silk Shell, which is a little too dark for me. I wore this color last year because I actually had more of a tan, but then living here and not really going out much has made me super ghostly pale. So I actually have to mix this in with the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Illuminating Foundation. This thing has such a long name. For some reason, these two together are amazing, even for dry skin. For some reason, I feel like this adds a little bit more coverage. I actually kind of enjoy mixing it. When I first tried this with my very dry skin without mixing, it was okay, but I feel like this just made it that much better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my palette and mix those two in together. I have mixed the two colors together and it has gotten a lot lighter. Now I do have quite a bit left on my palette just because it kind of just squirted out. But I like saving this because I like to do my eyebrows with this, and I will show you later on what I mean by that. I know a lot of people use concealer to carve out their eyebrows, and I think that is actually too thick to be carving your eyebrows out with, so I just like using my leftover foundation. Alright, so now that I have put it all over my face, I'm going to take my damp sponge and just blend it all out. Another thing that I absolutely love about this foundation is it does not feel heavy. It feels really light and airy, but it still gives you really, really good coverage. So I look a little ghostly. I think I may have put a little too much of the white mixer, but that's okay because I am going to bronze, and today I will contour my face. But as you can see, I am pretty pale. Next is going to be concealer. Now, my go-to concealer these days has been the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro Concealer, and this is in the color 100. I just love how like the consistency is. It is pretty thick. If you want that coverage, you're gonna have to use some thickness. So I like to take it on the back of my hand and a sponge and just lightly dab underneath the eyes, because I don't like using a lot of concealer. So I have my under eye blended out, and I'm just going to take whatever's left on the back of my hand on the tip of my sponge and just kind of conceal those areas that I'm having trouble with, which is a lot. Now that my concealer is blended out, I am going to set my entire face, not just the under eyes. And this, you're gonna tell as soon as I hold it up to the camera that this is definitely my go-to. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder in the color Natural, which is 003. And as you can see, I have majorly hit pan on this, but I don't know what it is about this powder. I just love it. It doesn't change the color of my foundation or concealer. It doesn't look cakey, and I just absolutely love how this looks on the skin. So this is definitely one of my favorites. I'm gonna take my BH Cosmetics powder brush, just swirl that right on in there, and set my entire face. So I do have to mention this because I know not all people like pressed powders, not all people like loose powders. So my alternative to the Stay Matte is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and this is in the color Fair. I love this stuff. It is so fine. If you don't like pressed powders like these, then you can opt for the loose powder. They have a lot of shades in this. I'm not sure if they have a translucent color. I'll have to look into that. But for the Rimmel Stay Matte, I know that they do have a transparent powder. So if you don't want anything with color on it, you can go ahead and get that. So I went off camera and did my eyebrows, and I'm going to explain what I used and why they look busted still, because I haven't fixed them. I don't know what it is, but I have really been into brow powders lately. This is the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder in dark brown, and this comes with a brow wax and 2 brow powders, as well as a spoolie and a little crappy brush. But for some reason, I have just really been into brow powders. I don't know what it is about them. I just feel like they look a lot better and it's faster. And by that, I mean, I actually like to use 2 products for my brows. I like to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I will use this to kind of clean up my eyebrow after using powder, because I know powder can get a little messy, but to me, I would rather sit here and clean up a mess rather than try to get it perfect the first time, which never happens for me anyway. So I'm gonna take this is the e.l.f. I think smudge brush, and I'm gonna take that leftover foundation that I had in my palette earlier, and I'm just gonna take it on the smudge brush a little bit and kind of make sure that I don't get too much, because you just don't want a lot. And I'm going to fix the shape of my brows, and by that I'm just gonna clean up a little bit of the mess that I made underneath. One thing I love about foundation, instead of using concealer to carve out my brows, is concealer to me just looks way too cakey, and if I'm going for a more natural / subtle look, I don't want it to look like I purposely carved my eyebrows out with concealer. So I like to use foundation. I'm just gonna clean up both eyebrows. Concealer is just way too thick, and sometimes you just want a lighter alternative. So if you have way too much foundation on your palette, just use it on your eyebrows or anywhere else where if you do eyeshadow and you're not wearing eyeliner, you can clean up your eyeshadow. Now that I'm done cleaning that up, I'm gonna go in with what I talked about earlier, the small, this is kind of like the mini version. This is the Step by Step Contour Palette by Smashbox, and I absolutely love this color right here for contouring. I am gonna go in with my number 2 BH Cosmetics. This is good for contouring and bronzing, and I am gonna take, I don't really like this orange shade, but I do use it for bronzing before I use the Cool Tone contour shade. This thing is super pigmented. You know what? Today it's not looking very orange, so I sound kind of like a liar. But today it is looking real good. Do some on the temples here. And of course, we're gonna hit that big ass forehead. I'm going to take the contour color next, and I'm going to use the same brush. Go ahead on the other side. Now that that is finished, next is going to be blush. Now this is my absolute favorite blush for so many reasons. This is the Milani powder blush in the color Romantic Rose. The one reason why I love this so much is because it caught my eye with the rose imprint. I just love everything rose, smell rose, look at roses, color rose, everything. So I just saw this and I gravitated towards it. It's soft, it blends great. So this is definitely something that I reach for very, very often. I'm gonna take my angled kabuki brush and I'm just gonna basically dab into that and place this on the apples of my cheek. I absolutely love this blush. Rose imprint. Moving along, I am going to prep my eyes, prime my eyes. This is something that I discovered while I was doing a full face. I will link that video down below, but this is the Essence eyeshadow and primer 2-in-1. I can't remember how much this was, but I don't think it was any more than $3. But it's basically just this creamy eye primer. I'm literally just going to push my finger in there and lightly pat it on my eyelid. I like how this doesn't get clumpy or chunky, and I feel like this thing is gonna last me like forever because it's literally just boop, push, and your whole finger is just caked in it. I am going to go in with my favorite palette. This is something that I feel like you could just wear this day and night and just completely transform your look just with this little tiny palette. This is the Maybelline City Mini palette. And this is number 480 Matte About Town. I feel like this is so versatile. You can use this during the day for a day look. You can use this for a night look, going out. So I'm gonna take a large shader brush. I'm gonna go in with this light color right here. Now, one thing I love about this palette is it is so pigmented. The colors are amazing. It is so easy to blend, and it's really just a beautiful palette. And of course, this is another affordable brand because it is drugstore. So I just think that this is awesome for the price and the colors that you have in here. Right, next I'm going to take a smaller, shorter shader brush, and I'm going to take this nude color right here. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, and I'm going to put that where my crease would be. So now I basically have my transition shade down. So next I'm going to take my Dome blending brush, and I'm actually going to go into this pinky color right here. I'm just going to put this all over my lid, right below that color that I just put on. All right, now I'm going to go in with a tapered brush. I'm going to take this, I don't even know what you would call that, like a darker rosy shade than the first shade that I used. It's kind of like a terracotta color. I'm going to put that, I'm going to stay to my lash line and just kind of blend it upward. Now that I am done blending that out, I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to take this dark brown, I'd say it's like a brick red color right here. Ooh, see? You see that? You see that pigment? I'm going to keep that as low as possible. So I'm going to move on to the lower lash line. I'm going to take that same pencil brush, and I'm actually going to take the rosy color, light rosy color. I'm not really good at colors, so if y'all aren't understanding, just look at where I'm pointing, okay? And I'm just gonna take that and go along the lash line. I'm gonna bring it down and kind of just smudge it out. And last but not least, for the lower lashes, I'm gonna take the darker rosy shade next to that light one. I'm going to take this, this is a flat concealer brush, but I like to use it for eyeshadow. I'm gonna take this and go in with that darker rosy shade, just pressing that into the lower lash line. All right, so that is it with this look for the eyes. My next favorite product is, this is something that you can't get in America, which, I mean, kind of sucks, but I had to put this in my video because it is, when I do wear eyeliner, this is the one I reach for. This is the Kate Super Sharp Liner. This thing has a brush tip on it instead of a felt tip like most eyeliners I have come across, and this thing will wear all day long. I will link down below where you can get this. You can get this on Amazon, but I'd say the close second to this that you would have here in America is the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. They basically look identical, and the only other difference is that the Stila one, unfortunately, is a felt tip, which I normally don't like, but this felt tip has not let me down yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Kate eyeliner, and I will be right back. So I have applied my eyeliner. I am not one for a big wing or anything like that, just because, once again, hooded eyes don't look good with a really big wing liner, in my opinion, unless you can just really pull it off, which some people can. I cannot. If you can get a chance to try the Kate eyeliner, please, 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 please do. I honestly think it is better than the Stila. The Stila kind of feathers out a little bit and is a really, really liquidy, and is a very solid black. The finish is a little bit shiny instead of matte black. It is not quite as pigmented as the Stila, but I still would rather choose this just because of the application, the brush, the maneuverability of this. I just love this eyeliner. Next is going to be mascara. This is my tried and true. I have mentioned it in my other videos. I think I've mentioned it in my other videos, but this is the Maybelline, the Falsies Volume Express. A lot of people say they don't like this, but I absolutely love it. It is literally like false lashes for me. It just lengthens the lashes so much. I don't know what it is about this, but it doesn't clump, and it separates my lashes as well as lengthens them, and I don't find myself finding flakes on the bottom like I do with other mascaras. So I'm just gonna go ahead with my Falsies mascara. Now, another thing I love about this mascara is the shape of the brush, the applicator, because it's just, I don't know what it is, but it has that kind of like curvature on the top right there, and it's just really easy to get all the way to the bottom of the lashes. And one thing I love about this is it does not clump. As you can see, this is so much longer and lengthened than these lashes over here. On to one of the second to last things. No, I have not forgot about highlighter. I just like to put it on at the end for some reason. This is just a highlighter that I use basically for all my looks, just because I feel like it looks so good with everything. It's just universally flattering. I feel like this color goes great for any kind of skin tone and any kind of look that you're going for, whether it's natural or intense, because you can really, really build it up. And this is super duper affordable. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. Now, everyone I'm sure has heard about it, seen it, probably even used it, but I absolutely just love this shade, this formula, everything about it. I'm gonna go ahead and take the e.l.f. highlighting brush, and I'm just gonna sweep it literally once across, and it is coated. I'm just gonna hit the cheekbones. Look at that. Look at that shine. It is so beautiful. It is so, so pretty, and even for my pale ass, it just looks really, really great. I love how the sun reflects off of it. Just look at that. It is very, very natural looking, and I mean, I just love how if you want it to be intense, you can make it intense. Pretty. Last but absolutely not least, the lips. This is the NYX Lip Smacking Fun Colors in the shade Thalia. This is an absolutely beautiful nude shade. It is very, very rosy. It's very soft. It's very pigmented. This color is just beautiful. It is not matte. It does have a satin finish. I would say kind of even like a glossy look. I just absolutely love this stuff. Alright, so now that I have finished basically everything, I'm gonna go back in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water and just set my face with this. It feels so good. It feels so refreshing. I just absolutely love this stuff. These are my everyday essentials. They're great for the skin that I have. Of course, everything is going to be different for everyone else. These are just the products that I love using for when it is fall/winter because of how dry my skin gets. Even before the Accutane, my skin would get really dry during the fall and winter months. So this is the stuff that I go to, that I use every single day during those dry days, and it's what has worked for me. And I hope that they work for other fellow dry girls out there and other fellow Accutane sufferers, because let me just say, Accutane is not fun at all. There's nothing pretty about it. There's nothing sexy about it. It is just horrible, dry flakiness all over. If this helps anybody, then, you know, even find just the right foundation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. If you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you simply just want to talk shit, leave it all in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.